So here's the problem. I have this piece of wood that I want to rip cut in such a way that when I put the two pieces back together, it looks as though it was never cut in the first place. Now you can do this on a table saw or bandsaw, but one, I don't have either of those tools, and two, I don't know if the kerf of the cut on those tools would give me the desired effect I'm looking for. My solution was to build this magnetic cross/rip cutting jig. And it gave me the ability to take this piece of wood, cut it, put it back together so that it almost looks as though it was never cut in the first place. So, let's look at how I built it. So I started off with a piece of pine that was about 9 inches by 4.5 inches. I had already glued up the fence stop before I decided to film the process, but that piece is about 3/4 inch thick and almost an inch tall. The last piece of this jig is the saw fence. And for me, this piece was about 9 inches long and about 1.25 inches tall and almost 3¼ inches wide. As I mentioned, I already had glued on the fence top, and I wanted to mention that it is important to make sure the fence top is 90 degrees to the base. Moving on to the saw fence, I started by laying out a notch to account for the fence top. Having the saw fence overhang above the fence top will give the saw a little more material to reference off of and help ensure just a little bit more accuracy on your cuts. Just like with the fence stop, it is important for the saw fence to be perpendicular to the base as well. With everything squared up, I can move to cutting out a notch into the saw fence. I cut an 8-inch long and 3/4 inch deep notch, which means the longest piece I could rip cut using this jig is 8 inches. Obviously, if you needed longer, you can make the jig longer. For the magnets, I eyeballed and spaced 4 of them along the fence. It doesn't have to be precise. I used 6mm magnets, which are a little small, but as I've been using the jig, I've yet to experience any problems, and they seem to suffice. I drilled out a small hole, and then used a dab of super glue, along with a little piece of wood that I shimmied into a little point to hold the magnets in place. The magnets are recessed just slightly into the fence, so as not to interfere with moving the saw out of square. Now I was finally able to glue everything up. This is the most crucial part of the build, and important to have the saw fence both perpendicular to the fence stop and to the base. To ensure everything was perpendicular, I held the square against the fence stop and saw fence, and I held everything in place for about 5 minutes while I let the glue set. This is a little tip that I got from Rob Kosman, and it's the best way I've found for ensuring that everything gets glued up square. Once the glue was dry, I could make the initial cut into the fence stop. Finally, it was time to give it a little test run. For cross cuts, I found everything was square right off the bat, but for rip cuts, the piece needed a couple passes on the shooting board to clean everything up. However, once everything was cleaned up, I was left with an almost non-existent cut that you can see here. So there you have it. I hope this was helpful for you to watch how I put this together. Maybe it'll help you with some upcoming project you have. For me, it's helping me create a puzzle box that I'm currently working on. That's this mess that you see right here. Now for this project, I needed to have the cut not be visible so that I could have sliding pieces, hence kind of part of the puzzle. It's been super helpful. It's helped me create the kind of look I'm going for, and I'm super excited to see how it comes out. That shot you saw at the end was part of the results that I've gotten from this jig so far. So, if you are interested, consider subscribing and be on the lookout for that video coming up soon. Once again, I hope you like this, and I'll catch you in the next video.